Okie dokie, welcome one and all to what's probably going to be the last stream of the day. As this is basically the last E3 thing that remains. Now, what makes this one a bit hopeful is that Bandai Namco, for those who don't know, is the publisher of Elden Ring. This is some VTuber stuff with Ninja. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Sausages got thrown around. All right, sure. Chaos. But yeah, the hope is that we'll see some new Elden Ring stuff here, but that seems extremely doubtful. I feel like they would have advertised this event a lot more if they were intending to show, like, new gameplay for Elden Ring or something. That'd be insane, but I don't think that's going to happen. So just to set expectations, I wouldn't expect too much out of this event, but we'll stream it live and just hang out, even if it ends up being underwhelming. And just see what happens. Let's see. Alex Mitchell in the super chat says hi. Hello to you. And thank you for your contribution, man. But yeah. I think this event might be more focused on, because I know Bandai Namco's got like a bunch of anime series on Netflix and stuff, like Dragon's Dogma, for example. No, was that wait, is that not not Dragon's Dogma? That's freaking Capcom. Netflix. What are the series that they have? I know they have a couple. For some reason, Dragon's Dogma came to mind because I was looking forward to a Dragon's Dogma sequel at Capcom's press conference. But that's not it for sure. Yeah, I don't know. They have something. They have some Netflix stuff maybe that they want to show. Armando Perez says chaos. Chaos to you too. Conrado Torres says House of Ashes gameplay, Scarlet Nexus, and Elden Ring. Maybe Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. House of Ashes. What was that again? Third game in the Dark Pictures Anthology. Right, yeah, we saw a teaser of this. We saw a trailer of this. Alex Mitchell, I love you, Young. Right back at you, man. Thank you. Dr. Moxmill Readings. Hey, Young, greetings from Austria. Thanks for the extensive coverage for E3. Was lovely to have your company during all of these highs and lows. It was lovely to have your company as well, honestly. You know, obviously, certain press conferences or showcases were better than others. I've muted the audio, by the way, until the press conference starts. But I guess it's a good time to unmute now.
Not emphasize that enough. But for me, it has to be more than scary, and it has to be more than these terrifying.
But seriously, like even for some of the
story really hits with me,
less well-handled press conferences,
so much time into
live streaming it and having
I'm really hoping
you guys alongside just made it a lot more bearable and a lot more entertaining to react and everything.
Aliens and yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah,
of course.
Not your cup of tea, but 100% mine.
You know what? Hey, I'm here for it. Though. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it all.
Opposing forces get dropped into
So
Sumerian
this
temple,
is supposed to
right?
start in like a minute.
Natural elements start
2:25, I think.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
So Golden Boy, we need you to get psyched up. We need you to
Yeah.
get ready.
No says, that's his name, No. Thanks for the great coverage. Thank you for being a great crowd and audience. Shadow Mist 1. What do you think of the game inspired by Suikoden, if you've seen it? Right, I saw the trailer for it. I'll be honest with you, Suikoden is one of those franchises that I never got super into. But I understand the... Oh, here we go. I understand the renown behind it and the excitement behind it. Soft and Salty Boy says, Young, ¿entiendes español? Pues sí, por supuesto. Hive Mind Prods. So far, the only two good E3 showcases have been Microsoft, Bethesda, and Nintendo. How hopeful are you of Bandai Namco? We'll see. I'm not super. I'm not super hopeful about it.
An ancient horror has
But all right.
awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears.
Oh, we already
to be
saw
an
this trailer.
underground storage
Oh, I should
facility.
boost the volume.
But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
Volume seems a little low in general for the
Descend into
stream.
unknown alone
Max
is
volume.
extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna psy out this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! They're up on the ridge! Return fire!
You teeter on the edge of an abyss.
But yeah, the Dark Pictures Anthology.
Your
Man of
survival
Medan came out in
depends on the
2019, Little Hope
choices you
2020,
make.
and then House of Ashes
They will
2021.
be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
People in the chat seem to be saying that this series is
nightmare
fun.
these luckless
Yeah,
souls
never
fallen
played this
into.
at all.
Look out.
Look out? Look out for what?
Don't know what it's about.
One by one,
Don't know what to
lights
expect.
will be snuffed out, unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed.
We have to move, let's go.
I hope they have some new stuff to show, because this trailer was already showcased at another
Salvation,
conference.
or be lost in the darkness forever.
It does look fascinating. It's like supernatural horror with military motif. Opseth and friend says, PS Plus just sending an email to order a PS5 Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's because I have PlayStation Plus. Good for you! You are a very lucky
We're
individual.
here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology,
Oh.
House of Ashes.
We're being shown
I'm
more,
joined
that's good.
by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right,
Really cool.
so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes.
Let's start at the
for
very
most
start.
of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures anthology.
The Dark Pictures is
just
a
gonna be an
series
interview?
of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories.
Gonna make some
each one
gameplay,
is
maybe?
standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe. So there is connection between them all. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq. And then as part of that, they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit. Then there's a pitched firefight. And then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort. And it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. You know, these big, massive structures. But these different groups, they're all separated. Radio
Uncharted,
contact
Modern
is lost,
Warfare.
and they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the f just happened?
So this time, it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or
Andrew Courtney says, I
historical
believe
part
they're
of
only
House of
diving
Ashes?
into
So
House
we
of
love
Ashes
looking
and
at, looking
DOHG,
at reading myths
nothing
and legends
else
and
from
stories
released
and doing
info.
our research. And we know our fans love it as well, because there's something that they can
DOHG.
link into afterwards. And I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire, and this terrible evil that happened. We had this self-proclaimed god king, Naram Sin, and he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple.
Oh, there's some new
brought
footage,
famine
right?
and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it, and then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously
this
we've
all
made
they're
our own
showing?
truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. The team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this. You know, they've got guns, maybe they could try and take one of them down. but maybe there's another one around the corner, or maybe there's a group of them, and maybe they're going to get ambushed.
Maybe they're like a cluster.
Exactly,
and
yeah,
they all pop
a
out at
nest,
once.
as it were.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to work on and see these things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us. They perceive the world in a different way. Getting little snippets of it in the darkness, and did I see that? Was it something that moved? Or is it actually just one of the other soldiers that's stuck in the catacomb?
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, you know, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing within horror, that you think you're going to be scared right now, and we're not going to scare you now. We'll scare you in a minute when you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge...
Don't Step on a Lego says, I'm still writing that Breath of the Wild too high. Well, that was awesome.
You know,
Any hopes for a Bandai Namco presentation? For the Bandai Namco presentation, anything you want to see?
Love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play it out. You know,
they are the publishers of Elden Ring.
Because there's a firefight, there's going to be bullets flying as well, and all kinds of stuff.
But I think it'd be a miracle if we saw new Elden Ring stuff at this event.
Lots of blood.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying.
I don't think we'll see more of Elden Ring here.
Not gonna lie, man.
I think this is going to be a pretty low-key event, but I'm tuning in just in case.
What changes have you made to the gameplay and mechanics for House of Ashes?
We're always evolving the Dark Pictures. We listen to a lot of the feedback from our fans.
Some people want Tekken,
and also our team,
Digimon,
what they want to do, how they want to push things forward. So we tried some stuff in Little Hope with you know,
Dragon Ball, something Dragon Ball related, Ace Combat 8,
parts, and we've really leaned on that again, and it really works.
Those are some good suggestions. I don't think we'll get much here though.
Lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors which are really tight and oppressive.
Creepy.
Yeah, indeed. So we've had to learn, because you take away the fixed cameras, and that takes away some opportunities for horror. But we've had to learn new tricks to scare people and, you know, ramp up the tension and you know, the chance for jump scares, which we know some people love. We've also got a new torch mechanic, so you know, it's military themed. So these guys are going to be walking around with weapons, with torches mounted on them. We love the lighting that we do, this sort of really inky black darkness that we have.
I have to say, this game doesn't look cool.
The contrast to the bright areas, and so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going, what the threat is.
It looks interesting.
That kind of stuff. We've also done things like added difficulty settings to this game. So in Little Hope, we added you know, QTE warning icons as an example.
Alex Mitchell, you're my #1 news source for games. Thank you for everything. You're amazing. Well, that means a lot, man, and your contributions, the number of contributions you've made today, means a lot. Really appreciate you
can change
and having you here.
Still, most of your characters are.
Good thing there's subtitles here. I can get away with talking over it a little bit.
Yeah, but that's what we come here for. That's okay. We can deal with it. So I've got to ask, what was it like working with Ashley?
So Ashley was fantastic. She researched Rachel. She understood her when she came on the set, which is so refreshing. She knew her inside out. And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
When we were looking for Joey, Salim helped me.
You didn't tell me this because...
You'd flip your shit.
Oh, the guy on the right there, I've seen him in a number of TV shows, most recently in...
because they're real to us.
He was in Anthem, also. He played
I don't mind if you hate any one individual character, because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead, and you feel bad about it.
And you feel bad about it, definitely.
Yeah.
But also, we want you to save them. We want you to try.
It was also in The Expanse.
We know that some people want to get
his name
straight away, and that's fine. That's their playthrough. That's what they want to do. But you know, can you get everyone out?
They got some prominent actors here.
Save as many as you can,
which helps with.
There's a lot of replayability there.
Indeed,
goes on forever. I like that. So last
delivering.
Favorite scene?
Compelling performances.
Favorite scenes. So
yeah, this is way too much time spent on this. I feel.
Iraqi soldier and Jason Kolchak, one of the Marines that's there. There's a way that can play out, and a sort of contest between them. And
Andrew Corney says this is all they're doing since Doing didn't come out right. Since Doing didn't come out right last message. Gotcha.
And then seeing that come through in game, I think we've got something there. I think that's gold. And
really?
Then of course I love scares.
Is this the whole thing?
I love the jump scares. I love the moments of tension that we bring. We can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before.
Well, they should call this the House of Ashes.
Take your mind off
Direct or something instead of calling it the Bandai Namco event.
This has been really cool to talk about, and I'm sure I'm.
But maybe we'll see more.
And terrified in equal part, and everyone else is just excited. I'm sure of it.
And it's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I can't wait to get it into people's hands.
It's gonna happen.
Oh no, there's gotta be more, right? House of Ashes. Okay, maybe something comes right after this. Smoked Kitty, I'm feeling a little jaded about this year's E3 in general. Yesterday was so bizarre and corporate. How are you feeling in general about the event? I think it's clear that like the pandemic certainly disrupted a lot of like what they could and couldn't show.
Before we dive in,
oh my God, was that it?
See how scared you got. Of course, we want to thank Razer for being one of the E3 2021 sponsors. Of course, giving
yeah,
us
that was it.
Tired old blades.
Oh
nobody cares
man,
about. But this Blade 14, girl,
they should not have called this the Bandai Namco event. Like it's just like if you just say, I don't know, was this advertised anywhere? Because I literally didn't see. I tried researching what this press conference was going to be, and you know, websites were raising the possibility maybe we'll see more Elden Ring, but I guess not. I guess this is it. But to answer the question, how am I feeling overall about this year's E3? I acknowledge the disruptions due to the global pandemic, and I still commend developers who managed to keep the ball rolling and get stuff out. But at the same time, it's hard to deny that this is definitely one of the least exciting E3s. Just as an overall package, though there were definitely some highlight moments here and there. Some cool stuff, and Elden Ring, and Breath of the Wild 2, and some of the stuff shown at Microsoft and Bethesda. There was some good stuff. But it's just, yeah, a lot of just press conferences that felt completely unnecessary. Like it was put together just for the sake of it. This is one of them. Capcom was basically, you know, an email, a tweet in the form of a press conference, just stretched out. Gearbox's was kind of, that was awful. Like that was just a complete waste of time. Square Enix had less to show than I expected, though. They did show new stuff like Guardians and the new Final Fantasy Origin. So, you know, overall it was a bizarre E3, and I think the disruptions to the world had a lot to do with it, but still, you know, it's still worth pointing out. Trank says E3 made a tweet of the schedule and showed Bandai Namco was just going to show House of Ashes. I did not see that tweet. Dang. Infinity Fox, thank you for just the contribution. For those who are just tuning in, the press conference ended, and it was just one game that they highlighted. It was House of Ashes. That was it. So, you know, just want to make sure you're not staying tuned, expecting to see more Elden Ring or something. God, they didn't even like show the trailer again at this event, which is so strange. But yeah, they should have been a lot more clear about this not being a Bandai Namco event, but rather this being a House of Ashes event. Gravity Follower, on the bright side at least, the Sega-made Demon Slayer fighting game has been announced to be dropping on October this fall. Oh, nice. I know Demon Slayer is such a popular anime now. I actually have not seen a single episode yet. I think I'm waiting until just more episodes come in so I can binge it. That's what I tend to do with animes, but I hope it's a good one. You know, anime fighting games tend to be hit or miss depending on who helms it, but Bandai Namco has a history. So I hope they can, you know, really take full advantage of the series and its aesthetics and its various powers and unique elements. Jedi, hello again to you. Gearbox had a better presentation than Bandai Namco. Weirdly enough, I would disagree. Because what was at the Gearbox event? Honestly, it was Randy Pitchford walking around kind of geeking out over Borderlands stuff that was happening. You know, he was in a soundstage where they were filming and everything, and he was just kind of like walking around, rambling onto the camera. They showed the Wonderlands trailer, the same trailer again. But hey, Kevin Hart was there. Or is this at least they showed more, they talked more about the game that they wanted to show? So I think that makes it edge out a little bit, but this wasn't good. I'm not saying this was good. It's certainly bottom of the barrel as far as, you know, ranking goes. Yeah, weirdly, Gearbox, I thought, honestly, yeah, from what I can think right now, that for me that was probably the worst. But I don't know. I'll think about it. Plenty of press conferences you can put down there this year. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna say about that for now. But this is certainly very close to it. This wasn't really a press conference. It was not worth dedicating a whole E3 slot to this. They could have just released this as a video and then tweeted about it and shared on socials, and people would have gotten wind of this. Promoting it as an E3 event is kind of egregious. True Kiryu, here, hey there, joined late. What did they even show? They just showed one game, and even showing would be a bit of an overstatement. They showed little clips here and there as they interviewed one of the developers. House of Ashes, that was it. Nothing else. This was a really, really, really sad one. Baze, how poor this E3 was just shows how much Sony makes an impact. Yeah, that I think part of it might be that, you know, there's certainly a void there left by Sony because they haven't participated, but just across the board, I've seen better showings from most of the presenters at this event. No, very few of these press conferences felt like they had enough material to justify themselves. A lot of them just felt very kind of cobbled together. Just because E3, like, I don't know, begged them, oh, new member, why must I exist? Has become a new member. You must exist to continue your membership and engage with this community, and so we can continue to hang. But yeah, it just feels like most of the companies here weren't ready for E3. And they should have, maybe they should have skipped E3 altogether and just done a Bethesda Microsoft conference, a Summer Game Fest, and then Nintendo do their Direct, and then, yeah, that aside, the rest could have been part of those press conferences in some way, or they could have just tweeted about it, or just published a video, and just share that stuff without making a big deal about an E3 presence. Moshest says, hello from Israel, just received your glasses and a sense of pride and accomplishment shirt. Oh, hold on. By glasses, do you mean this? Hell yeah. Really appreciate all those who have engaged with the merch store, YongYea.com. You'll find this cup, you'll find this shirt, you'll find this surprise mechanic loot box shaped stress box, the hat back there, among many other things. Thank you. That's very nice of you to let me know. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. Jonathan Rodriguez, I know EA Play is a month away. I'll tune into that. But are you maybe excited for Jedi Fallen Order 2? Maybe, ooh, if they somehow manage to show Jedi Fallen Order 2, that would be a great, that would be a satisfactory show. I'm actually curious to see more about Battlefield 2042. It does look good, just in terms of from a purely gameplay standpoint. But whether the game ships in an adequate state will be about whether EA rushes this or not, whether they monetize it too much or not, stuff like that. Plenty of other factors, but as far as just the essence of the gameplay and what they're going for with this Battlefield goes, based on that gameplay trailer, I was impressed by it, I will say that. Jorah Bodify says, the Gearbox Showcase was actually a Randy Pitchford vlog. Pretty much, that's kind of what it felt like. And it was not a compelling vlog either. It felt very just off the cuff, like Randy just said, you know, just roll the camera, I'll do some stuff, and we'll shove it into our press conference. It's just kind of what it felt like. Why Must I Exist says, okay, wow, what was that? That was disappointing, but the game looks okay. I guess, yeah, I think the game looks okay. You know, not discounting the quality of the game itself, just dedicating an E3 slot to just show one game. And to call it a Bandai Namco slot is just a bit misleading. Svenger McSpazzy, we really need to go back to E3 Live just so these terrible skits are held accountable. Let's see. Oh, some new members. Alex Mitchell has become a member. Again? Or did that already happen? Or did I already call that? Is that just a remnant? Either way, welcome Alex Mitchell. Dude, where's the pizza, Sama? Great name. When the highlight for this E3 was just chaos. It says so much. Nah, I would say there were a couple highlights. Breath of the Wild 2, Elden Ring. You know, there was a new Starfield trailer, which didn't show enough for me to be sold on it, but it was still cool to see, you know, I guess some in-engine stuff. But obviously, we'll have to see actual gameplay before I believe it to be real. William Santos Sierra, 2022 Game of the Year is going to be insane. Titans clashing insane. Breath of the Wild 2 killed Horizon Zero Dawn in 2017. Next year is going to be amazing. Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2, God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring. All these are coming out in 2022, or slated for 2022, alongside freaking Replaced, that one game that really blew me away. What else? I don't know. I tweeted something to that effect, talking about how... Oh yeah, Stalker 2 I'm really looking forward to. Bo Trey says, shout out to the Shiba Army, to the Doge folks. Chroma became a new member. Thank you so much, Chroma. Cabal Stir says, pay $2 to let everyone know. Chaos ruined E3. Chaos. This was a chaos-laden E3. Did I miss any other super chats back here? Xanarcan says, maybe because games are becoming more complex and expensive, there's starting to be less to show each year. What do you think? I think this year I can be a bit more understanding because there was a global pandemic that disrupted the entire industry. So at the very least, I'll say that. But also, yeah, you know, games are becoming, the AAA big showstoppers at least are becoming harder and harder to, or becoming more and more complex is what I'll say. And so, you know, and with all this talk about games being announced too early and being rushed, I'm personally okay with companies taking their time with when to announce and when to launch. Shubham Chowdhury, I think that's closer. Sorry about butchering your name. Says, what's your honest take on Xbox Bethesda presentation? Solid, really, really solid all around. They showed tons of stuff coming to Game Pass. They had plenty of new things we haven't seen before to show. It's definitely up there among the best, and many people are calling it probably the best of the bunch for this E3. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good overall. I don't think it was a complete home run. There were some things that were absent from the event. Not enough gameplay shown for stuff like the Halo campaign and whatnot. So there were a few things I'd complain about, but pretty good, all things considered. Ramasario became a new member. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. And welcome. Why must I exist? Next year is when I think the last gen will be left behind fully. I think so too. I honestly, mid next year, I think is when last gen is kind of truly going to become last gen, and we're going to see less cross-gen stuff. Next year, I think it's going to be, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I honestly can't wait for Dying Light 2, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Saints Row 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5 in particular, I don't know, I've always been a fan of that series, so... And 5 just looks really good with the 3D models for all of the different demons and everything. I was looking forward to that. Dying Light 2 looks incredible. Just hope that the development troubles that I've been hearing about don't afflict it too much when it launches, and hopefully it lives up to the incredible footage that we've seen. Philly Kano says, so I thought E3 is showing off games, not showing off people that make us viewers sleep. Yeah, I mean, they showed plenty of games, but if you're just tuning in, this is just the post-show after the kind of underwhelming Bandai Namco event. I should pause this so I stop making people think that the conference is still happening. It's not. For those who are here for Bandai Namco, it's over. They showed one game, House of Ashes. Nothing new, no new Elden Ring stuff, unfortunately. So, you know, feel free to tune out if you think this is this was not worthwhile. Just want to make sure everyone's aware of what's happening. Nier cited. I love it. Nier, but Nier the game series cited. I like that. Game Pass subscribers won E3 big time for sure. Oh my god, the amount, 27 of the 30 games, 27 out of the 30 games they showed off at the Bethesda press conference are all coming to Game Pass. The value for that service and that subscription is getting better and better by the day. And Microsoft definitely is nailing that aspect. Very much worth commending them for that. Alex Mitchell, is it bad that I'm hoping for a new Naruto game that's like Kakarot? That'd be kind of cool. I'm sure plenty of fans would really dig that. And I don't see why that wouldn't be a possibility, just given the popularity of Naruto. It's probably more popular than Dragon Ball, I'd say, in some regards. Alright, I believe I've gone through all the super chats. I don't wish to linger here much longer. This was the Bandai Namco, I don't know, I don't want to call it a press conference. That's a bit too generous. Single game showcase. Which, you know, the game itself looks alright. Looks like it'll find its audience, but I wasn't super entranced by it. So, in the not-so-distant future, in a day or two, I'll kind of summarize what happened at E3 and who I thought were the winners and losers. So look forward to that. You know, which were the better conferences, which were the mid-tier conferences, which were the really bottom-of-the-barrel ones. So that should be fun to do. And that aside, thank you for just hanging out with me throughout all of E3. And hopefully we can keep the news rolling. I'll keep you guys updated on all of the latest developments. And hopefully we'll see some cool stuff from EA at EA Play. And then Sony's hosting their own event for PlayStation, their own State of Play. So I'll tune in for that. So more streams to look forward to this year. The Last Horizon Ghost of War says Blue Box just teased Silent Hill. Ooh, is that so? I'll have to look into that. But with that, folks, I will see you guys next time. Yong out. We got one more. Tortoise Interference. Best conference in your opinion? You didn't do a live stream of Take-Two. I feel cheated. I'm still formulating my opinion on that. It's between Summer Game Fest, Xbox plus Bethesda, or Nintendo. It's probably going to be one of those three. But alright, for real though, I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.